We begin today with the swine flu, a government panel's dire scenario that's up to 90,000 Americans could die from swine flu is creating more angst about how soon a vaccine might be ready. Tracy Potts has more on how hospitals are bracing for an influx of patients.
With school back in session, the flu is already starting to circulate. Carnegie Mellon in Pittsburgh has put its campus on alert. 18 students have already reported flu-like symptoms.
It seems to me that everyone in my dorm has a cold right now, so I don't know how to tell the difference between who has swine flu and who doesn't.
A panel of scientists advising President Obama says nearly 2 million Americans could end up in the hospital with H1N1, 300,000 in intensive care. The panel predicts some hospitals could be overwhelmed.
We do have a plan in place for bed capacity and diversion of patients, but staffing is going to be the biggest problem.
Since the vaccine will target, among others, school children, the government wants schools to host flu clinics, but some districts say they don't have the staff or money.
We're not organized to prevent disease. We are organized poorly, albeit, to treat disease in this country.
The government's asked manufacturers to speed up production of antiviral medicines since producing the vaccine is going slower than expected. The government's still waiting on results from clinical trials to tell manufacturers how much to put in each vial.
We've asked them to go ahead and fill and finish based on what we know so far that we think is the right dosage.
But that won't be confirmed until at least mid-September. Tracy Potts, NBC News, Washington.
But you know what? The key to preventing flu or even catching the flu is to stock up on your vitamins, and that's why it's so important. Dr. Mikell Parsons with the Natural Path Health Center is here with more on that. Welcome to the show again, Dr. P. It's good to see you.
Good to see you.
You know, last time you were here, you touched on vitamin C just a little bit, and the last time you told us just how important it is. But for those viewers that maybe missed out on that, I mean, recap a little bit about why vitamin C is just so important.
Vitamin C is one of those vitamins that, first of all, we can't store. So when we take it, whatever we don't use, we eliminate through urine. But it is used in a tremendous amount of body functions. And if we don't have it, those functions can't work at 100%.
What kind of functions are we talking about?
One of them that will pique all of the women's interest is it helps in building collagen. Collagen is what helps us prevent wrinkles.
Oh, so you should be putting vitamin C on your face.
Well, orally for sure,
okay,
because we have to make it from the inside out. But other things are, we need it to help us absorb iron in addition to stomach acid. How many people are walking around with iron deficiency? We need it to make carnitine. Now check this out. Carnitine is something we should be able to make if we have enough vitamin C. Guess what carnitine does?
I have no idea.
It helps us burn fat and get energy.
Oh,
how cool is that?
Oh, okay.
And that's one of the more common deficiencies I see in the office. So when we are having elevated cholesterol, there could be a vitamin C deficiency underlying that. So it's such a foundational thing. We have to have it for our adrenals. So anyone who is under stress, if you are not taking vitamin C, you are setting yourself up to get sick.
So not only does it give you energy, so if you're feeling sluggish, it may be because you have a deficiency of vitamin C, but it also decreases cholesterol?
Yes, there is a component that helps with that.
Okay, that's really interesting. I don't know if a lot of people thought about that.
No.
They just think it's something to prevent colds with.
Right. They just have it in that little niche. But let me tell you, it is one of the most far-reaching fundamental vitamins that we don't get enough of.
How do we know we're taking enough, or how do we realize that we are not taking enough of it?
One of the more, well, I understood. I don't know if anyone else does, but I understood. One of the things that I see quite frequently is muscle spasms, muscle fatigue, shortness of breath. Here in the Valley, that's a big deal. There's a lot of asthma and shortness of breath. It could be because you don't have enough vitamin C. Muscle cramps, that achy feeling, bones, joints, you know, I just don't feel right, you're not running a fever, but, you know, you're just sore. That could also be another sign of a deficiency. Obviously, scurvy is the most extreme. We don't see a lot of scurvy here in the U.S., but it is a possibility. People who have dry skin, because it's all about skin and collagen production. If you bruise easy, if you're one of those people that you walk into a room, you don't even remember brushing up against something, yet you have a bruise, your body is screaming for vitamin C because those capillaries are very fragile when they can't get strong from that vitamin C.
Oh, wow. Those are some deficiencies that maybe a lot of people have never heard of before. Okay, let's talk about this challenge test that you have.
Well, I get asked all the time, well, how do I know how much I need? Well, if you really want to know, here's the secret. You ready?
Yes.
You need to take 1,000 milligrams, this is for adults, take 1,000 milligrams every hour while you're awake.
Wow, that seems like a lot, yeah.
We're going to overdose. Well, no, you're not. But what we want to do is see how much do you need to take before you hit what we call bowel tolerance. Now, bowel tolerance, take special note. You will have the urge to have a bowel movement, and this is kind of graphic, but I'm all about
the truth. Yeah.
When you have a bowel movement, it'll be a looser type of consistency, and it will almost be frothy, like the foam on a root beer. Just to get a good visual, isn't that? Trying to get you to not drink root beer, too. But when you hit bowel tolerance, you need to decrease your dose by 1,000 milligrams.
So if you are getting to that point with the frothy bowel movement, that means you
decrease.
So you need to decrease.
If you had taken 8 doses throughout the day and you took your 9th and 10, 20 minutes later you have this bowel movement, then what your body is telling you need is you need 8,000 milligrams a day.
Oh,
now, a lot of people think, oh my gosh, that's so much. Look at all the functions it has to be used in the body.
Now, where do we get 1,000 milligrams worth of vitamin C in a pill? Is that where we get it?
The easiest way to get those higher dosages are going to be through supplementation. Most vitamin C products come in either 250 milligram, 500 milligram, or 1,000 milligram dose. And then I had that C Plus Biofizz powder that you tasted. That was 1 teaspoon. That was 2,500 milligrams per dose. So those are kind of the average dosages. So when we're trying to really boost our immune system, support our body, it also helps in making hormones. You know, it helps us to make serotonin, which is our feel-good hormone, helps suppress appetite. It's so critically important. So those higher doses are what we really need to be optimally healthy.
That's really important for everybody to know. What is your next topic for easing, for your easing?
My next issue of my easing is going to have a very detailed sheet on everything there is to know about vitamin C. So everything that we've kind of hit on today, I'm going to go into a little more detail, talk a little bit more about the challenge, what to do with kids. You know, obviously you don't want to give your 2-year-old 1,000 milligrams every hour. They're going to hit bowel tolerance across the veal. But they still do need vitamin C. So we're going to cover A to Z what we need to know about vitamin C.
And your easing is your online magazine, basically, is what it is. And give everybody your website, Dr. P.
My website is naturalpathfresno.com. And when you go on my website, there is a buttons for our CBT viewers that you click, and you will have access to how to prevent the flu, because it's all about prevention. Let's not get it, let's just prevent it. And then you will be signed up for my easing, and this is something that goes out, and you'll get access to all the back issues as well. So you'll get one step closer to health.
That's great, because there really is a lot of great information in this. And just from what you told us today, we know how important vitamin C is.
That's right.
All right, Dr. P, thank you so much. You are at 745 East Locust Avenue. Give her a call if you want more information to 447-1404, and we will see you next week. All right, Dr. P, see you soon. Central Valley Today is just getting started. Stick around. We'll be right back.